We're continuing on with our drawing 11 objects, orthographics, and 3D. So far we've gotten the front and top view done of object A from worksheet 8, which is right over here. And now we'll just continue to get this right side drawn in over here. So, and again, I've turned off the grids that go with these drawings just so that we can see the outer visible edges more clearly. But I am referring to the actual worksheet to count grids in case you're wondering how I'm doing that. And we're on our projector layer. We've finished these two views, and I'm just going to draw another projector one grid over from the front, and I'm going to put that projector in, this projector in, and now this edge here is the depth, and that's shared on this view. So I can go over to my visible and draw a line 4 grids over. Put the grid snap on. 2, 3, 4, and it's 1. And of course the height is the same as the front view. So that's the outer edge of the full dimension object, and I can see right here I have this vertical face, and that's pretty simple. So let's start with that. Put a little projector on there and go across from here to here, and then we can put that visible edge in. And you know, honestly, I could have done that without the projectors, but we're just following a certain process when we do these drawings, and it's all well and good until it's not well and good. So I see that's a hinge point for this little shed structure that's right here. You know, this little shed structure. Now its depth, this gives me its height and its width, right, of this little shed. But its depth it's only on the back half. And so you see that coincides with this rectangle here. That's the foreshortened view of that sloped roof. So I want to project that. Come over here and I say, oh, I don't have my 45s in, so we'll just finish our 45s. And now we can project that edge across. And that's going to give us a visible line. Goes from here to here. We're looking at it, the whole height of it, right? That's those two faces combined. Now, this foreshortened face is only 1 grid high, and it's 2 grids wide. And then this is the vertical face. It's 1 grid high, and it's 2 grid wide. So they look the same in this view, right? They look like 2 by 1 rectangles. And they begin right there, and I missed my snap. I'll just trim that off. So that's those 2 rectangles. This one coincides with that sloped view, the foreshortened view, and this one coincides with this rectangle. Alrighty, and what else do we have to show? Oh, we have to show the center mark. And we already have that projected across. And we also know that we want it to be the same length as, I'm just doing a temporary line there. And we'll go over to center and draw the line from extension point to extension point, right? Because we'll go beyond the object. And just like the other one, I want to make sure that lots of little dashes are showing up when it's printed. So I'm going to make it the same. Now we have a situation where there's a visible line here for 2 grids, and then this line is coincident with it, but it only extends beyond that visible line over here and up here. So in AutoCAD, it will only draw the line that is on top, right? It'll draw whatever the printing instructions are for that line. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to put it to the back. And now it's actually behind the projector. But if I take the projector off, the center line now is just behind. There it is. There's the whole center line, and here is the whole visible line. So and the printer will print whatever the printing instructions are for that top drawn item, and this will extend down. Now, when we drew by hand, I had to put a little gap in here, but we won't have AutoCAD do that. I think that's clear enough in AutoCAD that that's a center line and it's behind a visible line. So we'll be okay with that. But we still need to get our, oops, that was a oopsie. Still need to get the edges. No, I think I should do this on the projector layer. Still need to get the projectors for the hidden lines on my, and you know, I could have probably figured this out and copied them from over here, but we'll just use our method. And we'll drop them. Now these go from object line to object line. I have no extensions because they're hidden. And now I think we can clean this up. We've got 3 views, and I like the way, this is why I like the 0.25 on this, because this little bit right here clearly has the dash pattern in it. If I didn't have this line type scale set to 0.25, then I would probably only get, you know, if I did a 0.5, I would get 1 dash and it would be obliterated by my visible line. So that's partly my strategy for using the 0.25 line type scale on my centers for just this drawing. It's just a custom thing for this drawing, but I probably make it consistent with the other view. Now when we get done, these are going to be centered, and so I'll put it on frame and draw a centering rectangle. So I'm going to use lower left and upper right. We have before. And now I'm going to set my snaps up just for this one task, right? So I'm going to just make sure that I have my tasks specific snaps ready, and then I can do my move without any confusion. Hovering on the small rectangle to get its geometric center snap activated where it is in the center there, and clicking, and then I'm hovering on the bigger rectangle and I'm snapping to its geometric center. And then you can just figure that. So it's all centered, ready for printing the way they are. And we can just continue here with our next object. Let me put it on visible. So now we're doing D, and if we look at the front view of D, in the ortho view, it will be 6 wide and it will be 3 grids tall. It'll go back from this edge to that edge is 4 grids. So on the front view, I can just draw, no, got to change back to our task-oriented snaps. I'm just going to start here and going over 6 grids or 1.5 in distance. And then we're going up 0.75. You can see I don't have my grid snap on there, so I'm not actually using the grid there. But I can either way. And in the middle of this rectangle is this projection forward, this little fin coming forward, and it is in the middle of that 6 units, and it's 1 grid wide. So it has a I'm going to just put a projector on here so we don't get confused. It has a midline right there, and then and now we're going to be using half units. That's why I turn this grid off. Anytime I'm using the half units, better to have that grid off. And we're going to offset the distance 0.125, half a grid. And we'll do it left, and we'll do it right. So now those will be visible. And I could draw visible lines, or I can just change the properties of those. So we'll choose those up to this. So that's that center fin right here. We're looking at the front face of it. And it's broken into two areas. This is this vertical face, which is 1 grid by 1 grid. And then this is a 2 grid high plane. It's 1 grid wide. And it's we are only seeing the 2 grids in the y direction of it, right? We're seeing the y component of it. So I'm just going to put, now we'll be back to grids. Let's see, I can't, you know, it's kind of hard to snap there, right? So one thing I can do is just put a line through there. So I know it's at the right place. And then turn this grid off. And that grid will drive you crazy if you're working in half units. And get rid of that. So those are those two faces that are projecting forward, right? And then sitting behind in our view space is this, what looks like a 2.5 unit wide rectangle, but actually includes this rounded surface, which appears to the eye like a foreshortened thing. It's not really that apparent from the front view what's going on with that, but we'll get there. And then we have this notch in the back, which will be easiest to draw once we've drawn the top view. So I think we'll just we'll leave that off the way it is, and we'll go to the next view, which is up here on, now we'll put back to our, oops. And we know that the top view and the front view match that width, and then the top view is 4 grids. It's got a depth of 4. And so let's draw this projection in first. Again, we're on grids. Don't like that. We use our endpoint snap. And I want to come up here and project that. And then that face, now that slope over there, that foreshortened slope, is 1 grid on the top. And then this surface up here is 1 grid back. So that's 1 grid on the, would be the depth scale. So our visible lines look like, get our endpoints. We want to go 0.25, right? And this way, 0.25. So 1 grid from in the top view. And then we'll just 0.25, 0.25. And partly I'm typing it in because I'm between the grid marks.